Hey everyone, it is Hera, and I'm so excited to be working with Spotify this month to promote their new platform, Spotify for Podcasters, which is a platform from Spotify that makes it super easy to start your own podcast. It allows you to edit and record from your phone or computer while also monetizing it and having fun features such as video podcast and Q&A to interact better with your listeners. One of the best parts about this platform is that Spotify distributes your podcast for you everywhere, so it takes a lot of the hard work off your shoulders. So if you're interested, go download Spotify for Podcasters. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, everyone. Welcome back to another episode. This is just going to be a short reminder to let you guys, just kind of be a little bit reminded and just something to talk about, to make sure that if you are going through a hard time right now, to worry more about your character than your reputation, and do not allow people's words to sadden you and hurt you in this time that you might be going through. A lot of times when you're going through a lot of difficulties, or people around you are giving you a hard time, or they're saying things about you that might not be true, they're falsely accusing you, or you feel very, very hurt just generally by the words that you are hearing, I think it becomes really, really easy, no matter what level it's at, whether it's at, a small level at your home or to the biggest level of your community, to start to feel overwhelmed, to start to feel that you're a bad person. Often you start to feel insecure, or you feel overwhelmed, or you think that you did something wrong when maybe you didn't. But whatever it is, those words can hurt. And so the first reminder that I'd like to give you is to make sure that you worry more about your character than your reputation. Your character is who you inherently and truly are. Your reputation is what people think you are, and that is something that will always, always, always change. Furthermore, you know you better than anyone knows you, so do not let the words sadden you. But what I do want to kind of talk about, inshallah, to kind of give you some comfort and to kind of help wrap this in, is at least the first 4 ayahs of Surah Duha, where it says in the first ayah, by the morning sunlight, and the second ayah says, in the night when it falls still, and the third ayah, your Lord, O Prophet, has not abandoned you, nor has he become hateful of you, and the next life is certainly far better for you than this one. Very, very popular ayahs. A lot of people talk about these ayahs, and I want to talk a little bit at a different level about these ayahs, just to kind of give you guys some context, inshallah. If you've ever read Marfil Quran's tafsir, then you know that there's some amazing commentary in English that could be shared. And, the occasion of revelation, we all know at a lot of different places that we've heard how the Prophet wasn't getting, peace be upon him, wasn't getting revelation for some time. There is an incident that was narrated in both Bukhari, Muslim, and Tirmidhi, where it mentions how there was this I guess you could say kind of that time period where the Prophet, peace be upon him's revelation came to a halt, and that Jibreel al-Islam stopped coming to him for a while. And of course the pagans and the disbelievers taunted the Prophet, peace be upon him, saying how his Lord had forsaken him and is now displeased with the Prophet. Hence, of course, Surah Duha was revealed on this occasion. And at this point, we are well aware that a lot of the pagans and the disbelievers around them, were having quite the vocal space with this, saying how he was forsaken. And one of the people in particular that had a lot of taunting that took place against the Prophet, peace be upon him, was the wife of Abu Lahab, as some reports share. So needless to say, you can imagine how the Prophet, peace be upon him, feels hearing so many taunts from so many different people, from, his own families at some points, extended people, whatever it might be. Like, there's so many taunts that the Prophet, peace be upon him, is hearing at this time, and already that feeling within yourself of confusion, of a little bit of overwhelmness, kind of just like this feeling that, like, why is God not giving me revelation? Or just those doubts, those emotions that kind of come into play, is already a lot to handle. And I think a lot of us can say, if you ever had like a low iman phase, or you just don't feel as connected to God, how restless you feel, how you feel really, really triggered, and you feel really, really sad about it. It's something that kind of pushes you a little bit, and you can only imagine being a Prophet, peace be upon him, and not receiving revelation. Some reports share how a delay in revelation took place twice. Once it was in the very, very, very early stages of the call, and this was known as Fatra al-Wahi, which is a temporary break in the revelation. This was usually the longest period, and then another narration states that when the pagans or the Jews asked the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, about the soul, he promised them that he would give them a reply the next day. However, he forgot to add inshallah, and as a result, revelation ceased for a few days. So the pagans obviously began to taunt the Prophet, peace be upon him, saying that Allah had abandoned him and is displeased with him, and whatnot, and a third. So this surah was revealed. What I really want to talk about, though, is in ayah 4 ayah 4, which reads, "And the next life is certainly far better for you than this one." This is a really popular one. A lot of people have talked about this, and I guess, to some degree, it's pretty self-explanatory. But as you can see in this ayah, the word ahira is used. And of course, this can be kind of taken in the popular sense of the hereafter, and is supposed may also be taken in the sense of the present world. So with these words, Allah tells the Prophet not to be disturbed by the taunts of the pagans, by whatever they're saying, because they will see in this world that their assumptions and accusations were absolutely false. And in the hereafter, he'll be blessed with divine favors to his heart's content and much more than what he will receive in this world. The word ahira can also be taken in its primitive sense, which means like the later state or condition. Some scholars say that in this verse, in this case, it would mean that every succeeding moment of the Prophet, peace be upon him's life, is better than the preceding one, and it includes progress in knowledge and wisdom, as well as in degrees of his nearness to Allah. It is also including progress in his economic and political fields at the time. I shared this because I feel like it's really important to remember that your khair and your good, whatever it might be, you might be going through a lot at home, you might be going through a lot with your own family, you might be hearing so much from people that you didn't expect to hear it from. For all you know, your own family could be the one that's tarnished your reputation. Your community probably has tarnished your reputation collectively, and you feel like it's hard for you to leave your home. You feel like it's hard for you to have a sense of reality. You feel like it's hard for you to have a sense of you and who you really are. And in these moments, of course, our cases are never as grand or as big as the Prophet, peace be upon him. But in these moments, it's important to remember, and I always tell people this, every moment that you feel overwhelmed, that you feel very, very tested, is just another moment. And the next moment that's going to come is going to be better. It is just another moment. It's just another moment. It's a moment where Allah has tested you, and you know Allah tests whom He loves. So it's a moment of love. It's a moment of love. It's a moment of a test. And just try your best to bear with patience, because this moment will pass too. Furthermore, consuming yourself in anger or feeling the need to constantly, polish your reputation or your character and, fight back with the words that people are saying to you is not always beneficial to you in your own health. Of course, there are certain cases where it matters and you should, and then there's certain cases where it's just not worth it. And so one of the things that you really need to understand is you within you. And if you know that you are trying your best, you're doing your best. I've had a lot of people tell me that when they're trying to become a better Muslim, they have had so many people bring up their past sins and shame them and say things like, you were not wearing clothes yesterday, you were in clothes today, you were, shameless yesterday, where you got all this hayat today. I've heard it all. I've heard a lot of people share a lot of different things. And the thing really here to remember is that when Allah has chosen you and when Allah decided that, He wants to guide you to this path, whether somebody's fully covered and is praying 5 times a day, but they're saying things like that are, harming you and causing like a hardship and a barrier in your path, that is something Allah will deal with. But if Allah has chosen you, continue to walk straight, continue to do what you have to do, because God is not done with you, so don't be done with Him just because of what people are saying. Your life here as a human being is all about change, it's all about evolving. We see that happen in all of the people's lives before us. Events happen, no one stays at the same place. Adam al-Islam didn't just stay in Jannah forever. Things progressed, things moved on, things happen. The Prophet, peace be upon him, didn't just stay in the same place forever. He had to do hijrah. Things go on, things change, things have to go in a certain flow. And you might have lived a life previously very sinful before, but guess what? Things have to go on. So now it's time that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has decided to guide you. Do not let their words hurt you. Do not let them, bring up the things that they've said before harm you. Do not be scared. Allah is with you. Anyway, I hope you all like this short little reminder. Please take care of yourself. Have a great rest of your day. Assalamu alaikum.